Yes and yes. It is for a car, but I bought it for my sim wheel. This thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off of here. I'm going to fit an adapter, which I have here, which will go in place of there. And then I'll replace it with this wheel here to give it a more realistic feel. But how I'm going to do it is going to allow me to keep all of my buttons. Hopefully. I'm only just getting around to doing it, so let's do it together. So first things first, obvious shit. Make sure everything's unplugged, no power to your wheel, nothing going on, and we're ready to go. Right, so first there's a couple of screws here, there's about 7 of them on the back. You just want to go ahead and take all of these out and make sure you keep them somewhere safe. Just a heads up before you take these last couple of bolts off, these are for the trigger buttons, so make sure you watch as they fall and just keep them in your little bowl thing and you'll be cool. Okay, once you've done that, you're going to want to flip it over, and then we're going to want to take out these 6 Allen screws here. Right, so once you've done that, this faceplate will just come straight off. You can put that on one side and the entire wheel will just come off. But there is a connection back here, so you need to be careful, and we need to disconnect, there it is, the motherboard from the system so it will remove the entire wheel. This is just for those that are worried about like weight differences in the wheel. You can see the size difference, but this is why I went for a cheaply made. This cost me 14 quid, 14 pounds, and the weight difference is not that much. It's a little tiny bit heavier, but it's not going to make that much difference, and it's not going to put that much strain on the wheel itself. Anyway, next up we're going to remove the 8 bolts and get rid of this motherboard. Right, so once you've taken the motherboard off, make sure you keep a hold of that and put that to one side, because without that you're going to be knackered. Now there's 4 more bolts to take off the back of the steering wheel to get your buttons off. We'll take them off now. And 2 of them are for the little trigger buttons, the other little trigger buttons on the steering wheel, so make sure you don't lose those either. Right, so when you've took them bolts out, you can take this straight off the wheel. Don't turn this upside down, because as you can see, all your buttons are underneath there and they'll just fall out. What we're going to do now is we're going to screw the little select buttons back on the underside of this and then attach it back to all of the wheel and rebuild it backwards. Okay, once you've reattached all these buttons, you want to reattach the motherboard to the back of this board. This is everything in reversed order. So if you get stuck, watch this video in reverse. And once you've got the board on the back of your button panel, everything should just feel like normal clicking and clapping. As usual. From here you want to reconnect the motherboard and just stick it back on and re-screw in the 7 screws in the back that you took out at the very beginning. Right, once you've done all of that and checked everything's still working, to the fun bit, we're going to add the adapter and then add the wheel to it. Right, and once you've went round and make sure you've got all your bolts tightened up, I think I need to go around and do some of these. There you go. How cool is that? So I'm going to stick a before and after of it starting up, and you can see the difference in speed and whatnot, but so far so good. Right, so I'm in a game right now and I can show that all my buttons still work. My lights still work. All of this stuff I've got bound to my keyboard anyway, so I'm not really fussed about buttons if you care about that thing. But you see me indicators and things. If I press B, my handbrake still works. If I press select, I go back to pits. All my buttons still work. My gear still works and shit. But overall, yeah, it makes a hell of a difference. Love it. The makes drifting a hell of a lot better, much more control. Anybody thinking about doing it, I would definitely go and do it. Absolutely loving it. Here. I just need to get a handbrake next. But if you just want to know more about it, leave it in the comments and I'll try and tell you about it. Love you loads. Have a great day, guys.